Happy New Year, everybody. Oh man, what the hell?
Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad, and today we are looking at episode 3 of Breakwater Point. When we last left, we were checking out the water park, Tsunami Bay, and as you can see in this shot off in the distance, new things have started. Yes, let's go take a look at and see what we've got today. All right, as you can see here, I did start to rough out the next area of the park we are going to be working on, and yes, we are finally venturing into the actual amusement theme park part of the park, and I'm excited to start building some coasters and just getting into the real meat and potatoes of the stuff I like to do. I did enjoy the water park for what it is, but I am a roller coaster guy, as I've stated, so this is where I've really been wanting to get going, so that's what we're going to be doing today. And like I said, I did start to kind of rough out the next area that I'm going to be building in. It's right up near the main entrance, so one of the first areas of the park that we'd be entering. I did kind of start to rough in the main entrance for this part. I wanted it to be similar to the entrance for the water park. There's going to be something here in the future. I have some ideas, but that's why we're not going straight in, but we're branching off to the left, and why this hasn't been done yet. But yes, we're going to be doing something similar on this side as a main entrance. In the main plaza of the park, I did rough in a couple more actual like large scale restaurant type things that I'm gonna work on and kind of build up a little bit. But this needed something a little bit more, so gonna have some restaurants right in front of the main entrance. We're gonna pass under the rocks. Of course, one of my favorite flat rides from the first game makes a comeback, the Sundial. So you obviously get hit with a big and crazy thrill ride right out of the gates. If you continue down this path here, I dropped in this new. I think this came in. Maybe not. No, I think this is part of the base game. But another flat ride. I think this one's called Strike. So we got another flat ride, kind of rounding out the area here. We cruise around the pass some more, and then we've got another flat ride, which is one of the. It's kind of like the hammer swing, but a single arm. And I think this one goes full 360, which is pretty cool. So we do have another heavy hitting flat ride on this side of the park. We're going to have some more just grab and go food stations, drink stations to kind of fill in the back area here so it's just not dead space. More over on this side, another bathroom block. We're going to wrap around back over to the main attraction of the area, which is pretty obvious. We have our second roller coaster in the park now. And of course, I had to build a big wooden coaster. It's one of my favorites. So this is Shrieking Tiki. Not really drawing inspiration from any particular coaster in real life. Kind of like the GCI style. So it's big swoopy turns and airtime and whatnot. It is a relatively short ride, but it does have some good stats. We come out of the station and just wrap around into the first chain lift. Well, the only chain lift. I don't know why I said first. This nice big swooping drop into an airtime, into another airtime. Spin through, come around, under itself, over itself, under itself again, under itself again, loop around, back over itself, loop around, under itself again, back up into the station here. So it's a relatively short ride, but it is not meant to be an over the top huge ride. It was kind of more of like a family style thrill ride, so nothing too crazy, nothing too massive, but it works for what it needs to do. Q station's going to be here, and I do have off the exit, we're going to have a little photo booth that will be the information stand and the staff facilities just so that it's actually utilized. But yeah, that's the basics for this next area of the park. It does feel like it's lacking So I'm hoping once I start to work on everything, maybe add a couple of things, it'll really fill in and start to feel like a actual area of the park rather than just some random stuff placed down, which is really what it feels like right now. Um, Theme up the coaster a bit, maybe another flat ride. I need some shops. I don't know. There isn't a whole lot in the game to really do that with, so I don't want to burn through all the rides, and I don't want to just keep adding the same food stations and bathroom blocks over and over. That way, it doesn't start to get repetitive. But as of like I was saying, as of right now, the game is what it is, and we don't have as much to really build the park up with yet. But we'll see. I'll play around with it, see what I can come up with. Hopefully, it starts to really feel like an actual part of the park. And yeah, I'm gonna get to it. So I'll see you back here in just a second.
All right, and we're back, and clearly a lot has changed. I'll start just by. I'm just gonna say it. I hated it. I hated the way this area was turning out. I hated everything about it. It just when I started working on this area, it just wasn't clicking, and I felt like I was kind of forcing things. So I took a long look at it and took a day off to just kind of not worry about the game so much because I felt like I was forcing it, and it wasn't working. I wasn't enjoying it. Um, so took a day off, got back into it, and with a clear mind, I was able to revamp the area quite a bit, and now I'm really liking how it's turning out. So I can't remember if this was in the last update, but I did add a third little restaurant. It's a chief beef, and I do have some interior work done on this one. Not much, but it is a little bit more done up on the inside. Um, Little seating area, some bathrooms, all the food and drink. It does have interior lighting and everything, so a little bit more of an interior than the other shops, but still not overly detailed like I used to do with all the TMTK and whatnot. But yeah, we do have a little chief beef restaurant right out of or right at the beginning of the area, I should say. I did swap out the strike with a drop tower. Uh, I wanted to keep the sundial there, so I didn't want another spinning ride necessarily, but I did need something else. And this one works perfectly for the area. It's small, doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's a different ride experience. So I think that there was a better call getting rid of strike and adding the drop tower. I have named it Totem just to kind of go with the rest of the theme of the area. Obviously, I still have yet to go around and detail it out and everything, but I will be doing that here momentarily. I did keep all these not rides, but these shops. They are the same building, but I put an overhang on a couple of them just to kind of break up the repetitiveness. The build style is a little bit different just to kind of give this area a little bit more of its own unique look. So we're going for more of the stone and wood rather than the wood and like the bamboo type thing. But you can see that the shops are different from each building to building, and the buildings are a little bit different just for repetition's sake. But they do stretch all the way down. I finally put in Latte Love and was it Viva La Vegan for the first time in the shop. New shops. I don't know. I liked Street Fox. I kind of liked that uh, brand. This one just seems a little more meh to me, but hey, it's new and eventually was going to have to show it some love in the park. No pun intended. Woo. Okay. Uh, the Viva La Vegan, I was kind of on the fence about too because come on, I'm not I'm not a huge vegan food fan, but I'm gonna give a variety to all the guests in the park. They gotta have options. Can't just have greasy burgers and pizza all day. But who wouldn't want that, right? And then we swing around and a bathroom block here. Again, slightly different build style just to give the area a little bit more of a unique look to it. Um, go back over here. I'm gonna have a little seating patio area for eating and drinking and watching the coaster cruise by. And then I do have another one here so you can watch Hang 10 cruise by, which I did add, oh, perfect timing. Some water effects. They don't sync as well as I was hoping, but you know, it does what it needs to do. I'm not going to keep fighting it. I did keep the sundial, like I said, and now for the biggest change, I completely started over with Shrieking Tiki, and the reason for that is, well, like the rest of this part of the park, I hated the coaster. It was lacking. It just seemed kind of blah. Um, there wasn't much to it, and it was definitely missing that factor that you want on a roller coaster. At least when I'm building a big roller coaster, you know that factor, the one that makes you do this. Yeah, you know what I mean. That factor. Uh, the first version just did not have that, but this one definitely does. I'm way happier with the layout and everything going on with this one. There's way more elements involved and interaction. I'm not going to show you or run through the layout right now. I'll just say that for the POV for, you know, spoilers. I have started going through and theming it up. Uh, Still going to be sticking with some of the tropical, like palms and trees and stuff like that to kind of keep consistency with the water park, but I have started doing some bigger, more, I don't even know if these are tropical or not, but just kind of, they still feel like jungly tropical to me. So I'm going to start incorporating some more different plant material. I am going to go through and finish all that. I do still have work left to do on the area, like fencing and lighting and seating. So I am going to hop on and do that here before we take a ride on Shrieking Tiki. Uh, New station is built up pretty nice. It's a little bit bigger and heavier duty than I was originally expecting, but I really like the way it turned out. Queue line, got a covered part of the queue line as well. Sign is up, which I'm going to do a little bit more work to. Uh, I do have a new maintenance station, which feels a little bit more realistic with the switch track and everything going on. Staff pathing for a work area if they had to ever pull the trains off. A little covered area here if they're working up top so they're not getting beaten by the sun. And yeah, I'm going to wait to work on this part until I start developing over here a little bit. That way I know what I need to do and what I've got to work with. And then the last thing I did add was um, backstage maintenance area, which I will go through on a later update and touch up, kind of like what I'm going to do with the hotel. It might be one of the last things I do because, well, no one's here to watch these. Those are just going on in the background. So maybe the last episode before the final tour, I'll go through and do like this area and the hotel, just kind of bring the backstage stuff to life a little bit. And yeah, that is the revamped version of this area of the park. Like I said, I still have to go through and finish out my fencing and lighting and the rest of the scenery. So I am going to hop on that and I will be back with one last update for this video. See you in just a second.
All right, and here we are. Definitely not the final product. As you can see, it still isn't 100% done, but I am getting a little behind with my schedule, and I needed to get my last video update recorded so I can get this one out on time. So briefly, I still have to go through and finish the perimeter fence along the backside here, as well as lighting and seating, and obviously foliage still hasn't been done, but we can use our imaginations for now. I'll go ahead and do that off screen and maybe include it in the next video, but I mean, you all know what trees and fence looks like. So didn't really think I needed to force myself to keep working and be late just to add that. But yeah, for the most part, the area is done genuinely. As you can see, I did go through and really add some scenery and life to this part. Excuse me. Added this little water feature next to the maintenance area for Shrieking Tiki, just because it was kind of a bigger, unused area, and I didn't want to try to squeeze a restaurant or a flat ride in there. So just got a little water feature with some tiki, spraying some water just to give a little bit more life to a other than that mostly dead area. Um, I went around the entire perimeter of the coaster with don't die fencing. Even though I've got the park fencing here, you still got to add that because people like to find new and imaginative ways to unalive themselves. So you give them that extra barrier and they're less likely to do that. On the topic, I did zoom fly over here and I added a little don't die fencing perimeter around the turnaround for hang 10 here, just because same concept. People like to get creative and do dumb things in parks. So yeah, just same of the basic stuff here. Just went through and filled in with some of the foliage, more rock work. I went and added some seating for all the little restaurants back here. Another little seating area here, right next to the coaster for some good visuals while you're having a snack or a beverage. A couple more tikis here with some triggered effects, which we won't spoil now. We'll watch that when we ride the coaster. We come back around this way and pretty much the same to be said, just more seating and foliage. Little seating area here to watch Hang 10 go by. And that is pretty much it. Like I said, I know the area is not technically 100% completed. Back here, at least, I'll get that all taken care of and bring that up to life a little bit more. I didn't do anything here because this area will be my next build location. So I want to wait and see what I've got going on in here before I start adding stuff here just to have to take it out again. I did drop in a new pathway so that we've got multiple directions to go through around the main part of the park. That way you don't have to go all the way through and around the theme park, back, just to have to exit through the water park. If you don't want to go through there, there will be a secondary route for the guests to use. So yes, that is about it for this one. Kind of a weird episode, but it's done, thankfully, because this one was a bit of a pain, not going to lie, but I am truly happy now with the way it's turning out. I like it a whole lot better now than what I originally started the episode with. So, yeah, that's going to do it for me this time. My name is Bread. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe and like to follow me for more Planet Coaster 2 content. And I will see you again next week with the next episode. And most likely another roller coaster. Surprises await. See you later, everybody.